If you're at a place in your life right now where you feel like you're getting bored or that life is almost mundane in the sense that you feel like you're doing the same thing every single day, it becomes repetitive, or some form of your life isn't as exciting as you would have wished it would have been, I can almost guarantee you that the reason is because you're overstimulating the shit out of yourself. Like, you're probably on your phone with everything that you do. And if you're not on your phone, you're probably listening to something on your phone, whether that's a podcast or a TikTok or music. Like, even music can be overstimulating. I've tried to, for myself, I love music. I love all types of music. But sometimes I try to give myself a mental break, even if I want to still have some form of music. I just put on jazz or something in the background that's not just so much for your brain constantly, because it seems like once there's the absence of all of all of those things going on, your brain thinks that there isn't enough going on and that your life is boring and that you aren't where you're supposed to be, or maybe you don't enjoy this job or enjoy this relationship or enjoy something that you're pursuing in life because it seems boring at times. And don't get me wrong, things are boring. I'm not saying if you begin to give yourself less stimulus that boring things aren't going to be less boring, but life in general is going to be less boring. You know what I mean? I also think that if you can just replace rather than completely eliminate to start, that's how you'll actually be able to break the habit of getting on your phone. For myself, for the longest time, I was like, okay, I'm going to go a week without getting on Instagram, a week out without doing this or that. And it would work, but then as soon as I'd come back, I'd want to get right back on, social media, and it would just be the exact same cycle over and over again. But what I did to really change and break that cycle for myself was replace the stimulus with things that are lesser, such as jazz music, or when it comes to scrolling, whenever I'm working now, I take a break of doing something that I still enjoy, but that's not as necessarily stimulating as scrolling on TikTok or something to that regard. I read manga. I know might be corny. Sorry about that, my camera ran out of storage, but like I was saying, I like to read manga whenever I am working because it's an easier thing for me to supplement without having to think, what am I missing out on right now? Because whenever I would go from working to scrolling on TikTok, my brain would automatically think like, holy shit, this is so boring. Like, if I had to go back to doing whatever I was doing beforehand, the break that I give myself, if that break is doing something super stimulating, whenever I try to go back to work, it's almost impossible and my mind just can't really focus. But with manga, with anything that just isn't super visually stimulating or mentally stimulating, it allows me to just go back into the flow of working and almost get tired of reading, because I'll read for 30 minutes and I'm like, okay, I'm it gives me like a creative itch almost. My content or my work is almost, is more geared towards creativity than anything, and it just helps me in that sense. And I think that any of us can find something that's maybe not necessarily the most stimulating thing in the world, but something we also enjoy in the same sense. So basically the message, I talked for like 5 whole minutes with the camera off, and I said a whole lot, and I realized I probably overspoke, so that's the reason it cut off in the first place. But basically I just wanted to say that I think that we as people can really enjoy life a lot more than we make it or play it out to be if we just will take a moment to get off of our phone, do things that aren't as stimulating, and allow our brain to relax a little bit. Because even for myself, I'll sit in the sauna and I can almost feel how much it sucks whenever I am listening to music that is very, very stimulating and just over the top. I'm more so focused on how hot it is. But if I listen to jazz or something calming in the background, or even no music at all, I can almost zone out and truly enjoy just looking outside. Okay, I thought that guy was walking in. Can just enjoy life more, you know what I mean? I can be like, okay, this heat feels good. It's good for my body. I'm sweating out the toxins, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. I guess the message is, now that I'm about to pass out, basically just do things that are less stimulating, and you'll understand, at least I did for myself, you'll start to understand that life has a lot more to offer than we're even giving it credit for. So that's the message. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, have a blessed one.